We'll know post the scan tomorrow. We've got a scan booked for him for tomorrow now. He looked in a fair bit of discomfort coming off. He's a lot more comfortable now, which is promising, but what's not promising is the degree of discomfort he was in. So we'll have an update hopefully later once he's had that scan.
Just Ty Furlong, please, likely to miss the next game?
Ty Glisso, he felt a tightening on deceleration. For a tight head prop, he probably just moves a little bit more quickly than he should, and as a result, he felt a bit of tightening. So we will check him out tomorrow. That'll give us a better picture, but we'd be hopeful that he would still be okay in 2 weeks' time.
Was Jack Conlon injured?
Jack just took a dunt on the shoulder, and so for Jack, the shoulder's been checked out. It looks okay, and so we'd hope that will settle over the next week.
Joe, what were you particularly pleased with, and then towards the end when they got the couple of tries, how disappointed would you be with that, or do you kind of look at it in the context of changes they made, and I guess they're always going to have some possession at some point? Yeah,
I think it's a mix of those things. I was really happy again with the way we started. I felt we played with some good width, and most of it was accurate. There was a few inaccuracies. We turned the ball over a lot more than we would have planned to, which is always a risk. And I felt we scored some really good tries in that first 40 minutes, and to keep them to 0, when, as you saw in the second half, they've got some very good attacking players. I thought Manozzi, when he got his first try, he's got good speed, good footwork. So we're disappointed with that, but there's a couple of young guys on the wings there. Keith had to go to 13. It does mean that your cohesion does get checked a little bit, and we got a little bit passive defensively in that last probably 20 minutes. So we're disappointed with that, but we also see it as an opportunity to get a reference point for some of those younger players, some of those newer players, to say, here, have a look at the level here a bit, and get some learnings from it.
Did we see how important Robbie is defensively and maybe as a leader? Because when he went off, that's when they started getting on the front foot a bit, that's when they started to play a bit and aggress. Yeah,
I think it was a mix of that. Robbie is superb defensively. He's superb on the attack as well. I think Robbie is a class player, but I think once you've moved the player in from the wing and you've put another guy on the wing and it's his test debut and he's a little bit nervous. I think once he'd run at the Italians, though, I'd say they were pretty nervous about him. I think he turned a couple of them inside out, absolutely inside out, and we probably should have done better on the back of that line break, but it did give us a chance just to check that while Keith Earls has got a little bit older, he hasn't got any slower, and I thought his chase down was sensational. So, we would have liked to have nailed that overlap. I don't know, it was 2 or 3 players probably, but they jumped us and did a good job.
Rory, Sergio Parise reckoned that not only do Ireland play very good rugby, better rugby than England, but they're harder to play against than England. Is that kind of comment mean anything to you, or do you think it's
I think it's always nice when you get a compliment from an opposition captain, but like I say, ultimately we'll look at this game and we'll see, like, there are a lot of things that we can do a lot better, especially in the second half, and there are things that we will be pleased with. But look, I think like I say, it's a nice compliment from a class player, but ultimately we'll judge ourselves on how we go, and as opposed to our in terms of comparisons to England, that's a long way away for us. We're focused now on recovering from this and looking forward to the next game in 2 weeks.
Joe, Andrew Porter, he doesn't get to play that long a game, in the last couple of years. He hasn't had many opportunities. What did you make of his performance in difficult circumstances?
Yeah, no, he 77 minutes, and I think he only just got the engine running. He was still going at the end. Fair play to Andrew. I thought he came on and made a super effort. It was difficult at scrum time. There was a lot of kind of hinging and difficulty keeping the scrum up. So he was giving it his best shot there. I thought some of his defensive work was very, very good. He was working hard to get into good positions to make good tackles and made some really good ones, and he carried the ball really strongly. So, he kept putting his hand up, and we thought it was a fantastic investment getting him that opportunity to have that amount of time and for him to acquit himself as well as he did.
Joe, Bundy Aki as well, was very influential in the first half.
Yeah, I think Bundy was probably disappointed with his handling a couple of times. He prides himself on looking after the ball and doing it well, but he's a creator of play as well as a go forward player. So he did the full gambit today. He put some nice passes away, linked really well, showed the ball and got through and behind them, gave a nice pass to Keith Earls to score. Defensively, was also leading guys off the line and doing a good job. So, for us, Bundy keeps growing into his game at the international level, and we're pretty keen for that to continue, and other players are getting more comfortable playing alongside him.
Joe, would you be hopeful that Gary Ringrose might be back for the Wales game Friday?
Gary's making really good progress. Next weekend might be just one weekend too soon, but he's not far away, and potentially next weekend. But again, it might be the weekend after, and for him to come back off an injury layoff and come straight in and play against Wales, that would be a tough call. But it's a call we're happy to make based on Gary's contributions in the last Six Nations and other times he's played. He was superb in the summer tour, and he's such an intelligent player that he adds value when he does come into the side. So that would be certainly one alternative if Robbie is unavailable, which we suspect he potentially will be.
Joe, is there an update on Sean O'Brien?
Trucking along pretty well as well, and again, after losing Josh van der Fleer last week, and I think Sean Reedy came off early against the Kings last night for Ulster. So just a few of those other players. Jack O'Donoghue joined the squad this week from Munster. We start to get a few other loose forwards that we need to look at, and Sean O'Brien is automatically one of those based on what he's contributed over the last few years. So he is making pretty good progress. So we will get an update on Sean during the week, and he may well come into the squad prior to the Wales Test match.
What sort of numbers will you take with loan? What do you hope to achieve there, and what's the balance in terms of releasing players to play next weekend in the Cup?
Yeah, it's a needs must. I don't think that Rory needs a lot of game time right now, and we'd need about 20 fit players, and there'd be a few other players, the likes of, potentially if Tide can't train fully, but we can get him up to speed in those couple of days in Athlone, so he's ready to train fully the following week. I think those are the sort of guys, in addition to the 19, 20 fully fit players that we'll look to take to Athlone. So I'd say maybe we'll have about 22 players in Athlone, and the other members of the squad will go back and be available to play in their provinces.
Joe, what do you make of Jordan Lorimer's defensive performance? Seems to be somewhat targeted, possibly by the Italians.
I don't think it was targeted. I think it was just the fact that the ball went that way when it did. There was one clearing kick from Joey Carberry, which was superb. It was a very long kick. Unfortunately, bounced straight back into Minotti's hands. And I think I mentioned him during the week. He's got some serious footwork and acceleration. And when I saw him matched up against Jordan, I thought that might be a pretty interesting match. And probably Jordan just got slightly awkwardly positioned, and that's a fantastic learning opportunity for him. He is such a good learner, such a positive character, that I think there can be a real positive coming out of what will have been frustrating for him.
Joe, after going into the first break again, how do you feel you are positioned to have a shot at that championship now?
Well, if you'd said to me 2 weeks ago you can have 9 points and a 39-point differential, I would have bitten your hand off, you know. We always go to Paris with a bit of trepidation, just because we've always found it really hard to win there. Having said that, we've had 2 wins out of the last 3, and the other one was a 1-point loss. So we do feel that we've gained a bit of confidence in going to France now, and then having the home game against Italy to get that bonus point is just allows us a little bit of confidence in that we're heading in the right direction. Wales will be a whole different scenario. They play a lot of territory. They force you to bring the ball back against a full line of defence. They're very attacking as a defensive side, and then they squeeze you and force errors, you know. And they have guys who are quick and turn things around very quickly. The likes of, you know, Gareth Davies getting that intercept and away went. Steph Evans on the edges. Josh Adams was very good last week, along with some of the more well-known guys that we know are class, the likes of Scott Williams, kind of running their midfield and Halfpenny at the back. So for us, you know, where we are now, we've already started thinking forward, because you don't really have too much time to reflect. I'll certainly reflect overnight and work my way through the game, and maybe on Tuesday evening when we get together in Athlone, we'll have a look back, and then it'll be about springboarding forward, hopefully, on Wednesday and Thursday morning that we're together.